looking back at the Indiana game, it was kind of a gritty, grimy win. I thought Indiana played extremely well on the defensive side. I thought they had a few days to prepare. I thought they were very consistent in what they did defensively and what they were trying to do. We still had over 1 point OER, but I thought they did a nice job keeping us out of transition. Again, we were very, very solid on the defensive end. That being said, I thought we executed our game plan on that side. Trying to not allow them threes. I thought that we kind of mixed up what we did against I'm just drawing blank. They're a big kid anyway. He got 12 attempts, and we did a nice job doubling him. And Renew, thank you. But I think we were solid. It wasn't a pretty game, and then we made plays when we had to down the stretch and got key rebounds. And I think they had 2 shots outside of 10, 12 feet. It's very hard to win in today's college game when you don't make threes. So Buckeyes up next, the team that has an elite wing, James Battle. He's obviously in an Ohio State uniform. I think shooting 48% leg play from the 3. Bruce Thornton, point guard that's big, strong, physical, great mid-range game. And then they do it by committee at the center spot with Zed Key and Akpara. And then the Gale kid has been a really, really good player for them, especially in their wins. He's averaging 17, 18 a game in their wins. It's just a good basketball team. They've had a couple of very close losses. They're better than their record. And Chris's teams are always very solid on the defensive end. So we'll have to go play very well.
There was just a couple of times you sprinkled in some zone. Is that something you like having in your back pocket just to throw off the other team?
It's not zone.
Oh.
It's not zone. So you can call it that if you want, but we don't play zone, so it's not a zone.
What is it?
Switching man that we kind of just made stuff up with and kind of threw it out there and kind of just it's kind of distorted a little bit, and we let Coleman kind of play center field in it, but we still do a ton of switching, and it's truly man with Coleman just kind of roaming the paint.
But you looked like earlier on you went to the bench looking for a spark, whether it be Nico or Dre or Dane even. Like, is there anything that can be built upon that in this week or kind of moving forward with those guys?
Yeah, I think it's one, they've earned it. They're really good players. I think that every game has its own identity. I thought that Nico early, I was trying to look for a little pace and tempo in the full court. Draven obviously hit a big 3, but he's a guy that can crack a defense with his ability to penetrate. He's like I said from day one, he's one of our best shooters. So him jumping up making the 3 doesn't surprise me. But it was just kind of a feel thing at the moment. I thought Dane was very effective in his minutes, and it's Luke obviously was impactful off the bench. So there's quite a bit on that bench. More than just Justin and Luke.
What do you think has to happen for TJ to get back to the rim at a higher rate? I know some teams are loading up inside, but how do you look at that?
Make threes. Shoot more. He's got to literally shoot more. He's that's our whole team. Our 3-point rate's way too low. And, we're turning down really good shots, and he's a guy that was shooting 41% and prior to that, and make him guard you. And That's everybody. Quincy shoot 43%. We want him to shoot more. He turned down 5 the other day. We want him to shoot more. If I could take 63s, I'd take 63s. With this team, and we just got to shoot more.
Is that turning down shot thing? Is that something that's just recently cropped up? Like I don't seem to remember thinking a lot about it prior to like Northwestern.
No, I mean I think you start looking at driving the basketball and cracking the defense and there's that fine line there and maybe we emphasize that too much, maybe we don't, but good shooters have to shoot the basketball and we've got to take good threes, not just great threes. We have to take good threes, and we've got to make sure we're in a position to get those. And like I said, you got Coleman, Quincy, Luke, Justin, all those guys. Marcus turned down 4 or 5. Those guys turning down shots when they're open to try to drive it, and we got to clean that up.
I mean, how do you address that? Maybe now it's in the game, you can't take them further.
Yeah, we just talk about shooting good shots and talk about if you're open, shoot it. We're going to go offensive rebound it. That was the worst thing we did in the Indiana game, by the way. It was our lowest offensive rebound rate. But again, it's having the confidence to know when guys are open, they're going to shoot it, and then we can go rebound it. And now we kind of overcut in the Indiana game, I thought, and we've got a great shooting team, so we want to be that team, and not try to do too much.
Obviously, you're familiar with James Blackmon, but what does he bring different to Ohio State now?
I mean, he's just an elite shooter. They lost a couple of guys last year. Kid from West Virginia, McNeil, and they all run together. The big kid from Harvard to set out. I mean, all those guys were really, really, really good shot makers. And then the kid was a pro. So they had a one and done. So he gives them tremendous shooting. And they're a team that he's a veteran. He's old. He's been around. He's been through the league. He's a good rebounder for his position. And you put him with Gale and Thornton, and that's a very, very good 1-2-3. So yeah, he's a good, solid Big Ten basketball player and has been for a long time.
Last of these 2-day preps in this stretch coming up here, how does it impact the team the most at this point in the cycle of it?
Only when you guys talk about it. Only when people talk about it. And I get it. We're in it, and I've talked about it probably too much. It's guys want to play games. Guys don't want to practice. We're in practice mode. We're trying. We're obviously not taking days off. Yesterday was a heavy film day, and we practiced an hour and a half. And it's got that component to it that we all need a day to ourselves and a day to get better and maybe add a few things. But other than that, that's it. We're not adding much. We're staying very vanilla in our preparation. But guys want to play, and it's a 40-minute game, and we're gonna go out and play as hard as we can and be as mentally focused as we can.
You mentioned Saturday, just had the luxury of having Luke, was Quincy decided maybe an off day that you got someone that can fill that spot. I mean, what's the bounce back look like for Quincy maybe after his toughest game?
Yeah, he was great yesterday in practice, and again a day that it wasn't that he played better, had an off day. It was a day that Luke was really good. Luke was making shots, and their bench is trying to account for him, make sure their players knew where he was at all times, and we had the ability with Justin to drive the ball in there with that lineup, and Terrence and obviously Marcus. It was about creating as much space as possible. It wasn't that Marcus did anything bad. It was just more that Luke was making shots and creating space, and that was a big part of that.
You said maybe overcutting against Indiana, but it seems like you guys are a team that's really good at cutting, like as a whole. Is that an age thing and experience? Because you're old, we talked about. Or is that something you guys really?
We've spent a ton of time on it. We've spent a ton of time on it in the summer, and we were a mess last year. We overcut and we cut on top of each other. We did a little bit of that the other night. When we had Coleman and Ty in there especially, we were overcutting. And sometimes just standing's okay. And playing, into our booty ball and playing to the double team and then just moving it and then playing what the defense gives you out of that. And sometimes we just had too much movement, too many people getting in another guy's way. And we talked about that a lot, worked on that yesterday. Thank you.